Hey, what's going on, guys? Booster Whips here. Today we're going to be installing the carbon fiber fenders for the Genesis G70 22 and up. These fenders are available on our website at boosterwhips.com. I'll put the direct link on the description so you guys can check it out, and a discount code. This one has been confirmed to only be compatible with the 22 plus. Unlike the hood that we installed on a previous video, that one is compatible with 2018 and up G70s. So the installation for this one, it is a little bit more tedious. I definitely highly recommend professional installation to avoid breaking, scratching, or doing any mistakes during the installation. I am gonna go over a few steps on how to successfully remove your OEM fenders, and we'll take it from there and get that installed. So this is very lightweight. I did already the passenger side, and the weight difference is just night and day. This is truly very lightweight. I believe it's a little bit below 3 kilograms compared to the OEM, which is a little bit heavy. I didn't weigh them, but from carrying them on both sides, this feels like feather on my hands. So definitely some weight reduction there. The vents on these fenders are functional, so you do get some performance out of there, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get started, give you guys a full rundown of what you're gonna need, and get this on successfully. To get started, what you want to go ahead and do is remove your front bumper. The way I did it, I didn't really remove it completely. What I did is I did unhinge it from the corners, just enough to get the access that I need, and I'll go over that in a little bit. There's videos online. I'll probably link a few on the description. I want to go over the steps on this video, but basically you take off this trim piece out of here with some push clips and some bolts that are on there. On each corner is very important, like on the corner of each, on that side right there. There is also another bolt there that you got to take out. There's some things in the inner wells that you need to take off in order to successfully get this bumper released. If you have an arrow kit like I do, you're gonna have extra steps if you want to go ahead and completely remove the entire front bumper. I didn't need to do it, so all I did was loosen up just the front by where the headlights are, and I was able to maneuver and get that done. So, but if you do really want to go ahead and remove the whole bumper, there's some videos online, but that would be the very first step. To go ahead and remove your fender, you're gonna have different bolts in different areas. On the top area, you're gonna have 3. There's one here on this corner right here, and then there's 2 hidden under this compartment. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. This just pushes off. There is some retention clips, so you guys can see. You can just, don't be scared to pull on it. It just comes off very easily. And then you'll have access to 2 more bolts that you need to remove. They're 10 millimeter. There's one here, and then one passing the hydraulic system. All right, using a socket wrench, you just remove these. For the very first time, it is gonna be a little bit hard. I had pre-loosened these out, so it looks easy, but you will need to apply some good amount of pressure to take these out for the very first time to loosen them. But pretty much that's it. Some power tools will definitely make your life easier and faster, but we'll go ahead and remove this, and then we'll move to the next step, which I'll show you now. All right, behind this compartment here, there's the headlight assembly. There's a 12 millimeter, which is located here, which you want to go ahead and remove. Once you remove this, there's this bracket comes off. Once you loosen up 2 more screws, which I'll show you now in a little bit. So this one here is a long screw. Take that out. And then there's a screw here. You can also use I believe it's an 8mm bolt or a 10. I'll check right now and I'll let you know. So you can use the 10mm here. There's one here and one here to take this bracket off. And then there's another screw behind this. It's 10mm, so you'll use a 10mm to remove these out of here. And then you can pull on the bumper. But if it's completely off, then this is out of your way. And there's another one here. So once these are off, this bracket comes off. So we'll go ahead and remove this bracket. All you have to do is kind of move here and these 2 clips come off. And there's another 10mm bolt right here we need to go ahead and take out. Alright, so in this one I like to use the wrench. It's gonna be a little bit hard. You have to apply some pressure originally. Alright, the last 2 screws to remove the fenders are gonna be behind the rocker panel. There's 2 here. This rocker panel will have enough leverage. You need to remove 3 clips which are located in these areas here. You need to go in from the inside. It is the most tedious step, I would say, on this install or removal of the fender, but it is what it is. So I'm using an angled Phillips here, so you need to go ahead and remove this. You can facilitate by removing your wheels off, but again, I wanted to do the least steps, less struggles possible. So I have the right tools. If you have the right tools, you shouldn't have to do any of that. So let's go ahead and remove this screw out of here. So this will help to remove or push back the liner. You want to go ahead and do that. You want to take off some push clips that are here. There's one here and one here. Yeah, with those 2 you should be fine. So take off the screw here, take off this one. There's one here and there's one here. Actually, there's 3. Let me go ahead and get you a close-up. So hard to see due to the glare, but there's one here, and one down here. Alright, you also want to go ahead and remove the push clip that's here. This is to give you enough to push that fender liner out of there. And then once you have the liner out of your way, I'm gonna move the camera the best I can to get into that angle we need. So these clips you see here, you want to use a needle nose plier. There's another one that's in here and there's one all the way in the far back. It's a little bit hard to get on there. What I normally do, I only push these 2 to give me access, and then the last one I kind of toggle it so I can kind of remove from a little slider that goes where these clips are actually positioned on the actual rocker panel. They're actually slid in to plastic. So what I do is just either kind of break it off or try to slide it off without trying to break it, and it has worked. But very hard process here, and it's hard to also record, but you will need to remove those 3 to kind of pull off the rocker panel as much as possible to access those 2 screws that I mentioned, and I'll show you in a bit. Alright, as you guys can see, I went ahead and I pushed this off. I was able to slide this off by kind of wiggling it off. I did kind of semi break it, so just got to be very careful. This one's almost coming off back here. It is what it is. It's the hardest part. You need to take off these two bolts that are here. So I'm going in with my angle wrench here. And because you're limited on space here, it's gonna take a while. But you guys can see the struggle. It's real. So a little bit at a time. But if you take your patience, you'll be done in no time. So still gotta go more, and then we gotta do this one. So go ahead and finalize that. All right, the next one you need to go ahead and remove is this one up here. This is inside the door. So you want to go ahead and open the door. I'm using an extension wrench here. This is easy to make a good leverage here. The screw here, you're gonna see that it's easily coming out, but the reason I'm using an extension is because originally that screw on there is really stuck. I want to assume because it's of the paint, it just won't budge. So with an extension, you have a better leverage. You're more out here, and you're able to kind of take it out easy, you know, loosen it. Or you can just probably use a crash bar. But anyways, I'll go ahead and take that one out, and we'll move to the next step. All right, guys. So this last screw here is a little bit tricky. As you guys can see, right where you see that number 12 on there, it's a flat type of screw. So there's no Phillips, there's no flathead, there's no socket or anything like that. But behind that, what's holding it is a 10mm nut. So this foam piece that you see here on the bottom area here, we're gonna go ahead and remove it from the opposite side of the fender. So what I do is that I pull the fender outward and try to reach and get that kind of foam piece out of there. Once that's out there, you'll have access to that 10mm nut. We'll remove it, and then we got to replace back that foam on there once we have the new fender on. So I'm going to show you now. All right, guys. So as you guys can see, I pull on this fender here. Not too much so that you don't break it. And there's this foam. Just remember the orientation. So I'm gonna leave it here. So once that's out, you're able to access that nut. And the fender comes off. Very heavy. Definitely when you get the carbon fiber one, you'll feel the difference night and day. This is very heavy. There is, let's see if I can show you. There's a clip that's being held down from the inside. To release this whole system, there's still one more clip which I didn't spot before. So make sure you remove it if you're having hesitation. It's because of that, so that this all comes out. So there's that. Carbon fiber fender is fully back installed. You're gonna go ahead and start from the bottom. That's my recommendation. Sorry I couldn't film the rest of the process. It is a little tedious, so it's kind of hard to be filming and installing, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea more or less of the removal process. The installation is basically just the reverse process. You need to install the bottom. You can start from the bottom, work your way up, and you have to adjust back and forth until you finally get all of them in position and are able to screw them in successfully and level them up. For the most part, everything is nice and flush. There are no major gaps that I can tell. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, go ahead and drop them below. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the car, give you guys just a little run around already with the hood and the two fenders, and we'll wrap this video up. And again, if you guys have any questions, comments, go ahead and drop them below. Here's the fenders fully installed. you guys can see, there's no major gaps on this. Do note that I didn't cover on the video, but on the passenger side I had to drill out some of the holes. So very important, guys, compare the OEM with the carbon fiber one. If you're missing some holes, pre-drill them before install. The driver's side didn't have any missing preset holes other than where a little rubber hose goes over, but very minor. So do check that. Don't know if all of them are like that, but pretty much this is how it looks. And guys, if you have any questions, comments, go ahead and drop them below. Again, these are available at boostthewhibs.com. I'll drop the link in the description. Until next time, guys. Thanks for watching.